Okay, where are we now? I last talked to you on solstice, December solstice, 2012. I talked to you the day after solstice, and I spoke of a great shift for all in from fear into love, a great awakening that's going on the planet, and the reappearance of the feminine energy. Now, what I want to share with you is such incredibly wonderful news that I really hardly know where to start. What has happened since the shift? At the solstice, all over the world, on the December 22nd, people danced because December the 21st was the end of the Mayan calendar. The world did not end that day. What actually happened was the birth of a new age, and it began on December 22nd. What really happened at solstice? At that time I told you it's the end of the end times and it's the beginning of the second coming. Actually, what happened on solstice was that there has been a major energetic shift on the planet, and everything has changed. Everything. We are in a place that's so new in human history we hardly know how to function in it. What happened at solstice was a shift from fear into love. The energetic energy of love has come in over the whole planet. The planet has shifted energetically out of the fear impulse that has been here for thousands of years and into the love impulse. Those who are sensitive to energies can pick this up. There's a new prevailing impulse in the world. There's a new prevailing principle. It's love. Now, what does this mean? First of all, it means that all of us who are in the love orientation, who have been struggling for years against the fear, will now find ourselves supported. We'll find ourselves supported in the love orientation, in who we really are, in who we want to be here, in our ideas, in our activities, in just about everything. Those who are in fear are going to be in for tough times, because it's as if the planet has said, that's enough of the fear impulse. That is enough. Love is going to prevail here. And what this means is that everyone who's in fear will find themselves going deeper into a kind of agony of the spirit, because everyone at this point is being asked to die to fear. And it's not easy. Fear is a habit with us. It pervades the media. It pervades our talk. We've been in fear for thousands of years. But the love impulse is now uppermost. And what you're seeing, in fact, all over is fear showing itself. It's almost as if fear is trying to batten down the hatches for a last-ditch stand. And you need to realize that you're being manipulated by fear. Find out what's pushing your fear buttons and get rid of it. The media is mainly devoted to fomenting fear. Drop it. Look around. Look at the trees. Look at your pets. They're not in fear. They know the truth. The truth is that the planet is an incarnation of love, and it's finally love is going to prevail here. So, there's a new prevailing impulse in the world, and it's changing everything. The polarities are increasing all the time. There has always been a polarity between love and fear. The gap, it's as if the gap is now getting greater. To that point, at some point in our future, where fear is simply going to dissolve into the love. Now that's what's going on, and that needs to be your principle of interpretation of events on the earth plane, in the Congress. Right now the planet is polarized between those two impulses. At one it seems to be a place of extremes. One country is in peace and tranquility. The country next door is in violent upheaval. That's what's going on. Okay, so we're in a new age, and there's a new impulse. And I tell you, it's as if that this is the moment that the human race has been dreaming of for centuries and has never been able to pull off. The moment when we could actually say the kingdom of spirit is about to come to the earth plane. That's what's going on. And it's very rapidly shifting the fear into its worst forms of expression even. But everyone who's in fear is going to have to die to fear. And it's not going to be very easy. And you can see it in the Congress. You can see it just about everywhere you look. Love is a new prevailing impulse. We're in a new age. Okay, a new age needs new ideas. A new age needs new principles. A new age needs new fundamental terms, new premises. Shortly after solstice, I asked a woman friend of mine, well, we're in a new age. What do you think it's all going to be about? And she said two things. She said, well, first of all, it's going to be what's going on in the Congress right now. At that point, what was going on in the Congress was a whole lot of kind of macho posturing around these financial issues. And it's getting worse. And the truth is that love is a very feminine principle, actually. And it isn't about this macho posturing anymore. This kind of stuff has been going on for centuries. It's time that it was over. We are facing a catastrophe on the planet that is so great we cannot even get our minds around it. This is not time for macho posturing. It's time for connecting. It's time for partnership. It's time for building and rebuilding, and facing very honestly and truthfully the magnitude of the disaster we have created for ourselves. Now, that being said, the earth has a lot of resilience. And if if human beings can be told the truth about what's happening, then we'll know what to do about it. It's time for an end of this kind of lies, this deception, this self-deception. It's almost as if when politicians get into Congress, they think they're in Hollywood, and they start grandstanding and acting for the cameras, and they say what looks good, and truth goes out the window. This is over here. It is coming to an end, and it's actually provoking an even worse reaction from especially the Republicans, because Obama really represents this new feminine energy. What's unfolding? Well, look what's happening. Let me tell you the good news and not all the bad stuff. First of all, Obama is talking about climate change. First time a major political leader has even mentioned the fact that there's something going on with the planet. And what did he say? He said to everyone, well, you may not believe the science of climate change, but you will be affected by it, by droughts, by severe storms, by all kinds of earth changes, as we are seeing. There was another very interesting point in his inaugural address. Many people have known for years that we have to take this problem with the planet seriously. but they've been voices crying in the wilderness. At this point, even the military is on side. The generals are realizing that, hey, these great storms, like the one we've seen on the East Coast, are threats to our national security. We have to do something about it. We have to fund sustainable energy. We have to beef up the Los Alamos laboratories and the Sandia laboratories. We have to. The long and the short of it is the military is on side. Now, if the military, we live in a military industrial state, if the military is actually on side and realizes that the earth is in trouble, then something will happen about it. And look what this means. It means the military is now finding a new way of waging war by basically serving the well-being of the planet. And the only way to prevent these enormous storms and these great disasters is to take the needs of the earth seriously. If the military can be on side, who knows what can happen here? Okay, what I tell you is live in hope. The love impulse is coming in and it's going to transform even the military. Now look what Obama talked about in his State of the Union. The things he talked about are matters of simple common humanity and common decency. You know, that an old woman does not have to stand in line for 6 hours to wait to vote. That ordinary people have their rights. That everyone, and here is another fundamental new premise of a new age, everyone, and not just the rich, has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He quoted the Constitution. That is a fundamental premise of every life at this point, and it has never been honored here. It has always been tacitly assumed that the rich are going to have all the rights and privileges, and the poor are going to pay. This is just not acceptable. And so here we are. This is a new kind of principle of humanity, that everyone is entitled to health. Everyone is entitled to freedom from fear. Everyone is entitled to have their basic needs met. It's a humane principle in what has been up until now a very inhumane world in many respects. And that's why other people are angry, because he wants to give everybody these rights. And on my interpretation, what this means is that the revolution that we are seeing sweeping through the Mideast has actually come to America. Obama was put into office by all of the marginalized and the dispossessed, the blacks, the gays, the young people, the Spanish, the women, all the voices that have not had any representation for thousands of years. And there's a grassroots uprising going on. It's a revolution from the base up. And at the very base of the whole thing is, of course, the planet. People are focused on the financial collapse, the economic collapse. That isn't what's really collapsing. What's really collapsing are the ecosystems of the earth, millions of years in the making. And the fisheries are collapsing, the forests are disappearing, the soils, the air, the water are polluted, drought, storms everywhere. The planet is going down the tubes. At this point, scientists are saying that the Arctic and the oceans are already at the tipping point. The planet is going down the tubes, and what the magnitude of what's happening is hardly conveyed by the term climate change. We really need to wake up. And we have been in denial for so long about what we're doing to the earth that it's going to be a very difficult awakening, but it has to happen. We have always had the attitude, especially in America, of the earth is something to be conquered and subdued. Well, the truth is the earth is living beings, and they're not commodities and resources to be ripped off to make money. They're beautiful, living, spiritual, conscious beings. They need to be nurtured and cared for. Now, there is a very feminine principle in a very male-dominated world. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say. What this the new age is to be about has to do with the feminine, has to do with love, it has to do with partnership, with rebuilding, with truth, and not this kind of posturing that's been going on for years and years. The Republicans think they get angrier by the day because perhaps they're missing the power or because they don't know where to go. But we're not here. It's not just about power and rigging elections. It's about real issues that have to be solved. The only reason to have power is to solve them. And if you don't have good ideas, and if you don't realize what's going on the planet, then get out of the way. You know, you just don't belong in what's happening. And we are not here on the planet to lord it over each other, to do this kind of pretense and game playing, these male games in which the planet's drowning. We're here to evolve, to grow, to learn, to respect each other and to respect the earth, and to grant everyone life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, including the animals, the trees, all the little creepy crawlies of the planet that everyone looks down on. So that's the first thing my friend said. It has to do with what's going on in the Congress right now. It's still going on. And it's going on because you're looking at the fear impulse, making a last-ditch effort to keep the status quo or even turn back the clock. It won't work. It won't work. There's new things happening in the depths of the world. There's a major shift out of the Piscean age of the male thought traditions and into the Aquarian age, which is to be about the feminine energy. Now, there was something else happening on the Earth plane at exactly the same time, just after Christmas. The attention of the whole world was suddenly caught by this horrific gang rape in India on a bus of a young woman, a student, brutally gang raped and then murdered. And it was as if it sent shockwaves through the planet. And it sparked an uprising of women everywhere called 1 Billion Rising. Women everywhere met in groups to dance and to mourn. Because very deep down, in some way, that event was a symbol for almost every woman's life at some level or other. There it was, made large. And this isn't an isolated incident. This happens all the time. I was, in our area, there was a group, women gathered, and women got up and spoke with tears streaming down their faces. I am beyond rape. I am beyond being men's victims. We are beyond this. We are beyond being treated like property, like cattle. We are human beings. We are persons. We are people. And I want to say to all of you men out there, where did you ever get the idea that you could treat us in this way? That you could do this and laugh about it and go on doing it? Well, what's this all got to do with awakening? It has a lot to do with the feminine. It has a lot to do with the awakening because this is a shift out of fear and into love. And at this point, men are acting out. that men aren't any worse than they've ever been, but they're acting out. And it's caught. Whatever they do is caught by some kid with a camera, some kid with a video. And it goes around the world in a matter of minutes. And this is new in the world. Up until now, the powers that be have done their despotic deeds without any fanfare. Nobody ever knew. It was all done in secret. Well, there's a phrase in Scripture, what is said in the dark will be heard in the light. That's what's happening. Men aren't any worse. It's just all showing up. And where have men gotten these ideas? We come out of thousands of years of male domination. It's as simple as that. And that means that women have been treated as second-class citizens, not even citizens. Men, in many places, far lower than the cattle. Women have been the property of men. Way back in the beginning, at the dawning of these male-dominated centuries, women were edited out of the discussion. And so we have come out of thousands of years of no real input from female beings, no real input from the women. Everything decided and run by the male mind. And we have come a long, one-sided course of male domination, of reason, of the masculine. A long, one-sided history of the masculine out of all connection and out of all balance with the feminine. And what's happening in the modern world, which is still dominated by this masculine impulse, is that these two principles are coming into balance. And in the modern world, this terrible imbalance is being righted. And it is a terrible imbalance, and it's being righted in equally terrible ways. But that's what's going on. The feminine is coming in. Women are becoming aware of their power, their freedom, their dignity, their value, their right to be respected and to be treated with care. And we come out of thousands of years of a civilization and a history based on contempt for women. And because women were edited out of the discussion a long time ago, well, I take a look at the state of the earth and I want to say the state of the planet is a sure sign that the men have missed it. And I want to say, how did you boys ever think you could get things right without us? Well, here we are, and the women are here, and just in time, finally and just in time, because the women have always been identified with the earth and shared her fate. And so just think about this for a minute. The women are here. The feminine impulse is demanding recognition, and it's coming into the earth plane. And the whole Piscean era of male thinking is really run its course. The old ideas don't work anymore. These old attitudes don't work. They're not appropriate to the present situation, which is really, the state of the planet, and the people at the bottom, closest to the planet, have to be taken seriously.